Making headlines, the Minister of Defense highlights ensuring no foreign troops remain stationed in the country as one of the administration's greatest achievements. The Minister of Foreign Affairs lauds the President's Maldives First policy as a transformative approach that has delivered tangible results over the past year. And the CEO of Asanda expresses concerns over the high prices charged by major private hospitals, stating that efforts are underway to negotiate lower costs for services.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Mariam Shawshat. Minister of Defense Mohammad Ghassan Mamoon highlights the redeployment of foreign military personnel from the Maldives, ensuring no foreign troops remain stationed in the country is one of the administration's greatest achievements.
In an exclusive interview with PSM News, Minister Ghassan discussed the significant strides made by the current administration to bolster the Maldives' military capabilities. He noted that in line with President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's commitment, Indian military personnel previously stationed at 3 key locations across the Maldives had been redeployed. The minister confirmed that no foreign troops are currently present in the country, expressing confidence that under President Dr. Muizzu's leadership, the sovereignty and the independence of the Maldives would remain uncompromised. Speaking on the government's foreign policy, Minister Ghassan emphasized the Maldives' first principle championed by President Dr. Muizz. While the administration seeks to strengthen bilateral relations across various sectors, including military cooperation, it remains steadfast in ensuring that such partnerships respect the Maldives' sovereignty and independence. The minister underscored the decisions impacting the nation will be made solely by Maldivian people, reiterating the administration's unwavering commitment to protecting the country's sovereignty and independence. He added that the Maldives remains open to collaboration with nations to honor this principle as it continues to navigate the global landscape while prioritizing national interests.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Abdullah Khalil lauds President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's Maldives First policy, describing it as a transformative approach that has delivered tangible results over the past year.
In an exclusive interview with PSM News, Minister Dr. Khalil addressed initial concerns about the country's foreign policy when the current administration assumed office. He highlighted that President Dr. Muizzu had realigned the Maldives' foreign policy to prioritize national interests and development, placing the Maldives' first principle at its core. The policy pillars emphasize fostering balanced bilateral relations and avoiding over-reliance on any single nation. Minister Dr. Khalil noted significant progress in foreign relations during the administration's first year, including strengthened ties with multiple nations. He cited high-level discussions with China and Turkey during President Dr. Muizzu's official visits, pointing to the positive outcomes now materializing. The minister explained that these engagements have bolstered the Maldives' economic prospects and secured critical support for national development, demonstrating that robust bilateral partnerships can be cultivated without compromising sovereignty or independence. The minister further emphasized the benefits of these strengthened bilateral relations, particularly in advancing the country's economic and developmental goals. He also praised President Dr. Muizzu's commitment to Maldivians living abroad, highlighting the president's personal engagement with expatriate communities during his visits. These intersections, Minister Dr. Khalil noted, reflects the administration's dedication to addressing the challenges faced by Maldivians overseas and ensuring their well-being. The minister concluded by reaffirming that the Maldives First policy has proven to be a cornerstone of the administration's success, aligning foreign relations with national priorities while safeguarding the country's sovereignty and independence.
We'll be back with more news after Isha prayers. Stay tuned.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وبعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
మీ జమాంతకి వందెం హల్లు నువ్వై ఎదురుగా మస్తలే తాబద ఇరాదు కవియా హల్లు ದಿಂದಾನು ಹಲ್ಲು ಕೊದ್ದೆ
ಅಳಗಣ್ಮೆಂಗೆ ಮೀ ರಾಜ್ಯಗ ತರಗ್ಗಿಗೆ ಗಿನ ಮಶ್ರೂತಕ್ಕೆ ಕುರಿಯಂಗೆ ಬಗೆಂದೆ ಉಮ್ರಾಣಿ ತರಗ್ಗಿಗೆ ದಾಯರಾ ರಾಜ್ಯಗೆ ಏಕಿ ಕಂಕೊಳ್ತಾವುಗ ಕುರಿಯತ್ತ ಮಶ್ರೂತಗೆ ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಫಹುಗೆ ತಫ್ಸಿಲತ
ರನ್ವೇ ಮಿ ಉನ್ನನಿ ಮ್ಯಾಗಂಡುಕು ತಿಂಬಯಕ ಪಹಾದಾಫ
ಮಿ ಮಶ್ರೂತ ಕುರಿಯಗೆಂದನಿ ಗಿನ ಗೊಂಜೆಹುಂತಕ ಕಾಯಕು
ಹಗೀಗತುಗ ಮುಳಿ ಮಾಲೆಯಂ ಹಲ್ಲೆಂ ಅಣ್ಣಾಣಿ ಮುಳಿ ಮಾಲೆಗೆ ಹುರಿಹಾ ಮಗುತಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆದಿಗೆ ಮಾಲೆಗೆ ಹುರಿಹಾ ತನಕ ಸ್ಟೋಮ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಡ್ರೈನೇಜ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇದ್ದೇವಿಗೆ
ರೈತುಗೆ ಹೋಫೆಂತಕ ಗೊಳಿಫವಾ ಮಿ ಮಶ್ರೂತಗೆ ತಫ್ಸೀಲ್ ಅಳ್ಮೆ ಬೆಲು ತೆರಿನಾ ಹಮೆ ಗೆನಸ್ತೇನಾ
ದುವೆಲಿ ಆದಿತ್ಯ ದುವಹುಗೆರೆ 22 ಕಡಿ ಸುಮ್ಮಿನೆಟುಗ PSM ನ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್
Welcome once again to PSM News in English. CEO of Asanda, Aminat Zinia, expresses concerns over the high prices charged by major private hospitals, stating that efforts are underway to negotiate lower costs for services.
Speaking before the Parliament Committee on Social Affairs, Zinia explained that Asanda is in discussions with prominent private hospitals in Sri Lanka to provide affordable services to the people. She pointed out that pricing at these hospitals is significantly higher, with costs applied to every service from the moment a patient enters the hospital. This, she noted, results in prices that are often higher than those for treatment abroad. Zinia also highlighted that Asanda has expanded its coverage, now including services such as in vitro fertilization and thalassemia treatment, which were previously not covered. The organization is actively working on packaging these services in collaboration with hospitals to make them more accessible. During the same session, Hina Walid, CEO of the National Social Protection Agency, discussed the historical challenges facing Asanda. She noted that the system had been used for political purposes in the past and that all previous governments had witnessed rising expenditures on Asanda. However, she added that no government had taken adequate steps to reform the system. Hina also raised concerns about the high prices of medicines, particularly in Dhaka, where costs are reportedly 15 times higher than in other countries. She criticized the extraordinary prices at which medicines are being sold, further burdening the patients. Addressing the issue of outstanding payments, Hina mentioned that many Asanda bills remain unpaid, including under the current government. However, she assured that the Ministry of Finance is working to clear these arrears as soon as possible. The Committee on Social Affairs of the Parliament has called on Asanda officials to address these concerns and ensure that the system better serves the needs of the people.
CEO of the National Social Protection Agency, NSPA, and spokesperson for the President's Office, Hina Walid, expresses concerns about some pharmacies refusing to implement the government's recent changes to medicine pricing.
During a discussion with the Parliamentary Committee on Social Affairs, Hina acknowledged that while the majority of pharmacies have complied with the new price reductions, a few are still resisting the implementation of the updated price list. She mentioned that 10 medicines have already been imported and distributed under the revised list, but some pharmacies continue to object to selling these medications at the lower prices. However, she reassured that these medications will be available at all STO pharmacies through the Asanda system. Hina also pointed out the significant difference in drug prices between the Maldives and other regional countries, noting that medicines in Maldives are priced 15 times higher than in neighboring countries. In some cases, pharmacies are marking up prices by as much as 300% to 4,000%, making them unaffordable for many people. To address these concerns, the government has introduced a special list of essential medicines, including those recommended by the WHO. This initiative is being implemented in collaboration with the UNDP. So far, 10 medicines have been successfully imported and circulated in Maldives as part of a phased effort to improve affordability and access to essential medications.
The Maldives National University MNU and the University of Melbourne formalized an agreement to collaborate on recent research initiatives. The agreement was signed during a ceremony at MNU with Vice-Chancellor Dr. Aishat Shehnaz representing MNU. In her address at the ceremony, Dr. Aishat Shehnaz highlighted that this collaboration with the University of Melbourne, a globally renowned institution, would significantly enhance MNU's capacity to achieve its academic and research objectives. She also expressed hope for future partnerships with other Australian universities. The agreement focuses on addressing global challenges, promoting sustainable development, and improving the quality of education and research. The partnership will facilitate joint research efforts, student exchange programs, and the development of innovative projects. Both universities anticipate that the collaboration will provide valuable opportunities for students, faculty, and service providers, benefiting all involved parties. Maldives Gas Private Limited initiate a project valued at $4.5 million to expand the storage capacity for cooking gas in the Maldives. This was announced by the Managing Director of Maldives Gas, Abdullah Mohammed, during a special segment on PSM News. In his remarks, Abdullah Mohammed emphasized that the company's primary challenge has been the limited storage capacity for cooking gas. However, he noted that recent efforts to address this issue have been successful. With the new project, the company plans to increase its storage capacity to 4 or 5 months compared to the current capacity of just 1 month. Managing Director further stated that the project is expected to be completed by the end of next year, at which point it will triple the company's current storage capacity. Managing Director of Waste Management Corporation, WEMCO, Mujtaba Jalil, outlines the company's objective to increase its revenue by enrolling 8,000 businesses in its waste collection services.
Mujtaba explained that currently, the billing for garbage collection in the city is integrated into Stelco's electricity billing system. Of the 12,000 businesses in the city covered by Stelco's system, only 2,000 are utilizing WEMCO's waste collection services. The company aims to extend its services to 8,000 of the remaining 10,000 businesses by the end of next year, which is expected to generate $972,762 in revenue. Mujtaba explained that WEMCO visits all businesses and offers customized service packages tailored to meet their specific needs. Some businesses prefer garbage collection during the night, while others require collection at particular hours. The company's goal is to provide a flexible service that accommodates the unique requirements of each customer. Over the past 2 months, WEMCO has visited approximately 1,000 businesses, with more than 270 of them now enrolled in the company's waste collection services. Mujtaba also raised concerns about the illegal practice of private individuals dumping garbage on behalf of businesses that have not subscribed into WEMCO's services. He pointed out that this often leads to waste being improperly disposed of on the streets, causing environmental and public health issues. In light of this, he emphasized the importance of businesses engaging with WEMCO's waste collection services to ensure proper disposal and help maintain cleanliness in the city.
Street vendors in downtown Caracas described their struggle with tough economic conditions due to rising dollar rates, with some earning as little as $30 to $40 a week as they grapple with fluctuating prices and a struggling local currency.
Dario Gomez, an electronic engineer turned vendor, expressed his concern over the soaring dollar rates to Reuters on Friday. Public and private sector sources say that currency depreciation is set to reverse years of declining inflation in economically beleaguered Venezuela, as foreign currency sales fall short of demand and the socialist government keeps tight-lipped about its strategy. After years of hyperinflation and amid broad U.S. sanctions, in 2022, the administration of President Nicolas Maduro began using orthodox policies including credit restrictions, lower public spending, a fixed dollar bolivar rate, and central bank sales of billions of dollars in foreign currency to tamp down consumer prices. Maduro, who will begin his third term in January after a disputed election that the opposition and internal observers said his government defeated inflation of more than 100,000%, and prices in 2024 are similar to those in 2014. But the administration's policy has now changed. According to central bank figures, after more than 9 months of the exchange rate being held at 36.5 bolivars to the dollar, the government in mid-October allowed the currency to float, beginning a depreciation that has seen the bolivar slide to about 45 versus the dollar. Analysts say the overvalued currency made imports cheaper than locally produced goods, impacting Venezuela's private sector and helping push prices up by 12% in 9 months. Financial and business sources said that the untethering of the exchange rate will also put upward pressure on prices in the final quarter of 2024, with analysts predicting in a Latin-focused survey the rate will end the year at 50 bolivars to the dollar. Year-on-year inflation was 25% through September. Official figures for October have not yet been released. Two sources with the knowledge of the projections said that the government had predicted internally the inflation would close the year at 30%, but depreciation could increase the figure, and local analysts have estimated inflation between 35% and 40%.
Members of the United Nations Security Council UNSC call for a surge in assistance to reach people in need in Gaza, warning that the situation in the Palestinian enclave was getting worse.
British Foreign Secretary David Lammy said there needs to be a huge raise in aid to Gaza where most of the population of 2.3 million people have been displaced, and the enclave's health officials say more than 43,922 Palestinians have been killed in Israel's offensive.
The situation is devastating and frankly beyond comprehension, and is getting worse, not better. Winter's here. Famine is imminent. And 400 days into this war, it is totally unacceptable that it's harder than ever to get aid into Gaza.
U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, told the Security Council that Washington was closely watching Israel's action to improve the situation for Palestinians and engaging with the Israeli government every day. President Joe Biden's administration concluded this month that Israel was not currently impeding assistance to Gaza and therefore not violating U.S. laws, even as Washington acknowledged the humanitarian situation remained dire in the Palestinian enclave. The assessment came after the U.S. in an October 13th letter gave Israel a list of steps to take within 30 days to address the worsening situation in Gaza, warning that failure to do so may have possible consequences on the U.S. military aid to Israel. Torrance Land, the UN coordinator for the Middle East peace process, noted that the conditions in Gaza are among the worst seen during the entire war.
The humanitarian situation in Gaza as winter begins is catastrophic, particularly developments in the north of Gaza with a large-scale and near total displacement of the population and widespread destructions and clearing of land amidst what looks like a disturbing disregard for international humanitarian law.
He said that humanitarian agencies face a challenging and dangerous operational environment in Gaza and access restrictions that hinder their work.
Rafa Nadal will not dwell on his impending retirement at the Davis Cup finals in Malaga and only focus on helping Spain claim the trophy this week, should he be called into action, the 38-year-old says on Monday.
Nadal will call time on his glittering career spanning more than 2 decades at the team competition, and the 22 times Grand Slam champion said previously he may only play doubles if it gives the team a better chance of winning a 7th title. Nadal told reporters that if he is on the court, he hopes to control his emotions, adding that the most important thing is to help the team secure a win. Nadal, who won a record 14 French Open titles, had said previously he expected to retire this year after a hip injury that required surgery limited his appearances in 2023. He was a surprise selection for the November 19 to 24th finals, featuring 8 countries after last competing at the Paris Olympics in July and subsequently missing the US Open and the Lever Cup over fitness concerns. Spain faced the Netherlands in their opening match today, and Nadal could feature alongside Carlos Alcaraz, rekindling the partnership they had at the Paris Games where they reached the doubles quarter-finals. Nadal said he was looking forward to an enjoyable final tournament as a professional player, even if he spends more time in the dugout. Excited tennis fans have praised Nadal ahead of the 22-time Grand Slam winner's last official tennis tournament.
A cutting-edge cell tissue experiment module has been delivered to China's space station by Tianzhou 8 cargo spaceship, enabling the study of stem, bone and lung cells in microgravity.
Over 80 products for 36 scientific experiments have been brought to the orbiting Tiangong space station to support subsequent space science projects and application tests, including the specially designed module for cell research. According to Zhang Weibio, researcher from the Shanghai Institute of Technical Physics under the Chinese Academy of Sciences and chief designer of the China Space Station Life Ecological Science Experiment System, the module is capable for both cell tissue and organoid experiment. Zhang explained that during the design process, the experiment sample units can be quickly installed by astronauts using 3 drawer components, adding that the experiment units are preloaded by scientists on the ground, transferred to the tower before launch and placed in the biological support system. Zhang went on to say that once in the orbit, astronauts transfer the units to designated drawers and integrate them into the experiment module to operate the work. A multifunctional automated microscope is also integrated into the module, enabling real-time monitoring of cell proliferation and differentiation. China launched the cargo craft Tianzhou 8 from the Wenchang Satellite Launch Center on Friday night to deliver supplies for its orbiting Tiangong space station.
That's all we have for you right now. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more news updates. Have a good day. Goodbye.
ಮುಸ್ತಕ್ಬಲ್ಗ ದಿವೆಹೆ ಕೌಮಿಯತ ಈಶ್ವರವಾಣಿ ಇರಾದು ಕ್ರವಿಯ ಕಾನೂನು ಬಾರಲಿ ಬಿದೆ ದಿವೆಹೆ ಗೌಮಿ ತಾರಿಕಾಗೆ ಕೊಲೆಜಕ ಮಿ ಕೊಲೆಜಕಿ ರಾಜ್ಯಗ ಮಿಹಾತರ ಅದಿನು